Hi boys and girls, welcome to Module 5, Lesson 9, Problem Set, where we are working on fractions that are greater than one whole. So now we're looking at fractions that are greater than one whole. So we're going to go ahead and fill in this chart together. And it says each figure represents one whole, so if it's all shaded, that's one whole, and we're going to fill in the chart. So we need to first do the unit fraction. So up here, the unit fraction is 1/2 because we could have the unit fraction, meaning 1, so unit is always 1, and then the denominator is how many equal parts there are in the shape. The total number of units that are shaded in this picture are 5. And the fractional amount that is shaded is 5/2 because each of these is a half, and we have 5 of them that are shaded. So let's go on to letter B. So in letter B, when we have a unit fraction, the numerator is always going to be 1 because we're talking about 1 out of how many. Let's go ahead and count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the unit fraction is 1/8. So knowing that, to figure out the total number of units shaded for this one, I can say 8. I don't have to recount them because we already determined that there's 8 parts. 8 plus all but 1 means that there's 7 shaded here. You can count them individually. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Or you can say, I know that 8 minus 1 is 7, so 8 plus 7 shaded spots is 15. And the fraction amount that is shaded here is the numerator is how many parts are shaded, which is 15, and the denominator is how many equal parts we have in each shape, which is 8. Let's do letter C. I see we're doing a unit fraction, so the numerator is 1. Unit means 1. And I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal parts in each shape. So now we want to count how the total number of units that are shaded. There are 6 in this one, 6 in this one because they're both wholes, and 2 in this one. So 6 plus 6 plus 2 equals 14. And the fraction that is shaded is 14/6 because there are 6 equal parts in each shape. This denominator, we're not doing how many there are all together. It's what is that fractional unit. Let's do letter D. Our unit fraction is going to be 1, and our fractional unit is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1/5 is the unit fraction. We have 5 and 3 more parts shaded, so that is 8. And for our fraction shaded, that's greater than one whole, it now becomes 8/5 because we have 8 shaded spots and 5 fractional units in each. Go ahead and do letter E and F on your own, and then come on back and check your work. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and check your work for letters E and F. So go ahead and see if your work matches my work. Now, I hope you didn't get confused down here with letter F because they shaded parts of 2 different shapes, but we're still looking at the total number of spots that are shaded to find out our new numerator. Our denominator is always 4 because each shape is divided into fourths. And down here at F, it stays thirds because each shape is divided into thirds. Let's go over here to number 2. It says estimate to draw and shade units on the fraction strips and solve. So we're going to do B and C together. So let's do letter B and C. So looking at the example, they said they wanted 5/3, which means we needed to divide each one into thirds because that's our denominator, and then shade 5 of those. So letter B, we are doing fourths. So our fraction would look like this, 7/4. We write it exactly the way it's written in from left to right. So I'm going to go ahead and divide my fraction bars into fourths because that's our denominator. That tells us how many equal parts we have in each shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and shade 7 of those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's look at letter C. Letter C, they want us to write the word form. So when I look at that fraction, I see 6/5. And I'm going to spell it correctly. So our unit, how many equal parts we have, is the denominator. It is fifths. So let's go ahead and divide it into fifths the best that we can. And then we're going to shade 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like we have 1 whole plus 1 more sixth, 1 more fifth. Go ahead and do letter D on your own and come back and check your work. Welcome back. Hopefully for letter D, you wrote 5 halves. You divided each fraction bar into halves and then shaded 5 of them. Let's see if we can do number 3 together. Number 3 says, Mrs. Jolick baked 2 pans of brownies. Draw the pans and estimate to partition each pan into 8 equal pieces. Okay, so here's a pan, and here's a pan. I can make it look like a fraction bar. And we can you can draw lines up and down, make 7 of them, or you could cut it in half and then do fourths. That would give us 8 each, right? Letter A says, Mrs. Jolick's children gobbled up 10 pieces. Shade the amount that was eaten. I'm going to use brown because we're talking about brownies. And it says to 10 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So letter A, there's nothing that we need to write for our answer. Us shading it in is our work. Letter B says, write a fraction to show how many pans of brownie her children ate. Well, her children ate 10/8 brownies. That is also the same as 1 whole pan of brownies plus 2/8 more. That's how we write that. So you can keep it 10/8. That is perfectly fine because that's how we're showing fractions greater than 1. It's also the same as 1 whole and 2/8. Boys and girls, you're going to move on to your homework page to do a few problems on your own.